At the bottom of the ocean, I'm at the bottom of the sea. I'll stay down, down. I'm just stuck here in a dream. At the bottom of the ocean, I'm at the bottom of the sea. I'll stay down, down. I'm just stuck here in a dream. I'm at the bottom of the sea. I'll stay down, down. I'm just stuck here in a dream.
Just really proud of the environment we foster at this organization. I mean, we're just so conducive to families and strong mental health. Wouldn't you say so, Sergeant Major?
Hey, let me tell y'all something. I'm tired. I'm doggone tired of this daggone freaking crap. All right?
Hey, leaders, looking at you. It's time to get engaged, huh? Hey, guy, come here.
Hey, son, come here. Who's your NCO?
Who the crap is your PL?
Hey, however,
it'd behoove you.
It would behoove of you.
It would be of who of you.
Hey, y'all need to square these Humvees away.
Son, square these freaking barracks away.
Hey, hurry up.
Doggone.
Freaking doggone. Do it again.
Better freaking check yourself. Better assess yourself.
Better understand something. Need to freaking understand something. Doggone.
What is this Facebook Live? I've never heard of this shit.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Hi, Lieutenant. How are you doing? Aw, did you find your land nav point, Lieutenant? Good job, Lieutenant. You get a
Expert Action Badge.
put on your uniform right,
Expert Action Badge.
show up to work on time,
Expert Action Badge.
qualify on your weapon,
Expert Action Badge. Badge of Action.
find your guidon.
Expert Action Badge.
That's right, just doing your normal warrior task and drills, you get a
Expert Action Badge.
Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Shit in a bag, Pogue. Badge of Action. The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. Action Badge.
Freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Morning, Sergeant Major.
How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?
Beautiful morning, Sergeant Major.
Are you a fucking weatherman now?
You're listening to Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio.
2-0. And of course, in the guns, I got Spanky.
Hey, y'all. That's me.
Oh, man. Dude. Oh, man. It has been a long time since we have been busting out some Sergeant's Time and some Sergeanting. Everybody who got that sneak peek yesterday on WTF Nation Radio's Facebook page, I appreciate y'all hanging out and jumping on board and doing some calls and chats. So everybody who assisted in the sound check yesterday, man, I'm out of it. I was like literally out of it, Spanky. I don't know what to do.
Right? You forgot how to like push buttons and make radio things work.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even tell me that you were testing. I'm like, what is going on?
Well, I just wanted to
Nobody
see.
informed me.
What's up, Mike? What's up, Mike? I see you in the YouTube chats there too. Yeah, it's. I was just like, it would be my luck that I would do something and I would not know how to do some stuff, and I was like, I wonder. Yeah, I better get on here and just mess with them. Get the buttons going.
Warm them up a little.
Yeah.
Just warm them up. They've been collecting some dust over the last week while we're out.
Oh man, it was a blast. I had a great spring break. What about you?
Oh, mine was pretty good. It definitely was. I went ziplining.
I saw that. I went up in the mountains.
Yeah, I'm not turning on my cam. Sorry. Ahmad? I don't know how to say that. Sorry, Ahmad. No, I'm not turning on my cam.
Yeah, Ahmad.
I like to sit here without any pants on.
Yeah.
I don't know how to work the camera.
Spanky goes, hey, can I wear this on air? And I'm like, no. You just put the camera back off. And, because she just... We want to distract from the content here.
Right? We're here to do sergeanting. So much sergeanting. So, if you guys already know, if you guys didn't know, there was a meltdown in the world of social media / the military community. We had the ACFT released with its final configuration, and the final so far.
So far, yeah, final so far. What's funny is that everybody was really, really talking about, oh, how is this going to happen? What are we going to do? Oh my God! And of course. What did we do squares? Didn't we call it back way back in the day? That I think you did.
Oh yeah, I knew.
You said that
go ahead.
No, I'm saying you said that more than likely, and this was a while back, that the leg tuck will be removed, and then I said it might be a chance that we might go back to age and gendered, and then you said more than likely gendered. Yes. So we went back and forth on that, and I think we kind of nailed it. Except We didn't know that the plank was going to replace the leg tuck. That's the one thing we didn't take into account.
No, I didn't think that they would completely replace it with the plank. But I will say this: if they are really just trying to test core strength, not upper body strength, if they're looking for something to test that, the plank does test just core strength more than the leg tuck does. I'm not saying the leg tuck doesn't test core strength, but it's not just testing core strength, if you get what I mean.
Right.
So it's like I said, I can plank forever. I probably could do a leg tuck or two if I really tried, but it's not like it would not be for the lack of my core strength. And I'll just go back to a few years ago, like when I was still active, like before I got injured, like I could do V-ups all day. I probably couldn't do one of those. Like I don't have the core strength that I used to, but I could probably never do 15 leg tucks.
Right.
I'd be lucky, like in the best shape of my life, to be able to do 5, and that's just the way my strength was. So yeah, I do think I could have passed. I mean, I'm sure I could have pulled one out my butt. But if they are testing just core strength, if that's what that exercise is supposed to do. But then again, they've been contradicting themselves all along. Like they just really probably should take the combat out of the PT test name.
Oh,
just call it a PT test.
Oh, dang,
and I'm
girl.
like, well, that's just it. He literally said, Sergeant Major Army literally said on his live feed that it's not like just to test combat stuff. I'm like, oh, why is that in the name then?
My favorite comments when he said that the rucksack is gender neutral. Oh, that was hilarious. I'm sorry. You have to admit that was
it was, and I literally thought about like for EFMB,
right?
They don't have a weight that you have to have your rucksack. They have a packing list, and that little bit of difference, like let's just say that tiny female is going to have smaller gear, so it's going to weigh just that little bit less, I guess, But that's the way they look at it, is that that's supposed to like kind of even it out and not say you have to have 35 pounds or whatever. You have to have, they said this is what has to be in your ruck. So I don't know, like if it makes that big a difference, but it.
Everyone's talking about, well, let's look at the. Let's look at the grading standards, and so let's pull up the grading standards. So
let's pull them up.
Let's pull them up. So, matter of fact, no, let me do one up more. I think we need to see a little bit more of. Let me rewind.
Like what the events are.
Let me circle back like our guest tonight. One Punch Dad, the warrant officer that spits knowledge, is going to be our guest tonight. We were so looking forward to his arrival tonight and shooting the breeze. He's pumped to come on as well. So let's circle back to the actual. I'm sorry, the way he does that, he's just like, he's dead on. So
and you do his voice so well.
Yeah, I think me and him are related somewhere. We were separated at birth or something.
Yeah, you guys got to have some DNA in common.
Circle back. Oh, I mean, the hairline's the same, except I'm fighting it, and the circle back. So the Sergeant Major of the Army did put out just about not even an hour ago that the ACFT field testing manual from 2018 is outdated. So please refer to ATP 7-22.01 in the Army XORD 153-22 with Annex A for administration guidance. So again, let me say that again. The testing manual from 2018 is outdated, so refer to the ATP 7-22.01 and Army XORD 153-22 with Annex A for test administration guidance. So let's look at this test administration guidance right here. Let's look at this right here. So we see the exercises. We see it, and I'm telling you what. This is right here is. Let's start off with the deadlift, the standing power throw, which is that everyone says the ball yeet, the yeeting. We got some yeeting going on, and everyone says. People ask me, Ice, why do you care? Why do you care about the ACFT? You're retired, and Spanky's retired, and it's a sergeant's time. Did you know that Spanky and I sometimes attend unit PT sessions with our Army, and
we were kind of like training along for all these exercises now. And now all those leg tucks that we did are for naught.
Right.
So
even at my gym, because it is local here, to Fort Hood. There's like over the last 2 years, there's tons of people on the I call them the monkey bars, but just like trying to practice leg tucks, and they don't let them practice that standing power throw in the gym. You're not allowed to eat the balls around.
Why not? That's so unfair.
You got to buy your own ball.
You got to eat your own. Yeah. Hey, look. We also have to provide information because this is what Sergeant's Time is all about. Go to army.mil/ACFT for more info. However, the spring drag carry, the plank, and the 2 mile run.
They wouldn't get rid of that.
They wouldn't get the 2 mile run. That's the. You're not a real leader if you don't run.
Yeah.
Can we still big Sarge this stuff?
Oh, we can still big Sarge.
Yeah, we can still big Sarge.
Like they definitely couldn't take that out.
So go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna just acknowledge one of these comments, because we only had the standards up for a second, and I'm sure you'll go back to that soon. But I do agree. Like I don't even remember the comment. Flew by so fast that I think some of these shouldn't be based on just age or gender. It should probably be more based on weight. Like a 300-pound solid muscle person could easily deadlift, whereas a 120-pound solid muscle person cannot. So I don't like I said, I don't think it should have that's probably way too over the Army's head, considering they had to have Congress help them decide how to do this.
Oh yeah, no lie.
So I'm but yeah, I do think that probably should play something into it. That's just my opinion, especially when it comes to the deadlift and the sprint drag carry.
Right. I'll be honest with you. Those exercises. I think Sergeant Major of the Army on video was like over 300 something for his. He maxed his stuff. So it can be done, but I'm just thinking.
Oh yeah, absolutely can.
Yeah, I just think it's so cool that everybody had trained up. Now there is some social media discourse going on with the I just did all these freaking leg tucks for me to shake and vibrate while I'm doing a plank. Well, hey, you know what? I didn't expect a plank.
Then it wasn't about score test or core strength, then, was it?
Exactly. See, man, Spanky, you're on a roll tonight. Man, you're angry. You guys are angry, Sergeant.
This is just because this honestly comes from I am so tired of people just thinking that people aren't trying to do leg tucks.
Right.
Because I know the kind of core strength I had. I could hold a V up for longer than you can a plank, but there's no way I could have done more than a leg tuck or two.
Right, I could
because I didn't have that arm strength.
Right. Yeah, no, because I mean leg tucks, knock them out, and it's really and then all of a sudden you start sitting down and trying to do a plank. You're like, you're starting to shake, and you're
Right. If it would have been just hanging in there and me pulling my knees up to my chest,
exactly.
I could do that all day.
Exactly.
I couldn't get my arms to do that pull up part of it, which
right.
was upper body strength and not core.
Right. So let's go back to those are your exercises right now for the Army Combat Fitness Test events.
The buffering.
Yes, the buffering.
So many times.
so now look now all you needed was one exactly, Dr. Ed. That my bro, man. How you been, Dr. Ed? Even Dr. Ed can do a leg tuck.
Then how? If you only needed one, how is that testing core strength?
Well, hey,
I mean, I get that you only needed one, but I'm tired of that argument.
All we needed was one, though.
Yeah, but that's not testing core strength. Then, if you only need to do one, I can do one push-up, that means I have upper body strength. Okay. So yeah, no, that's just it. If they wanted you to do leg tucks, then don't throw it off as that it was supposed to be to test your core strength. As simple as that.
Well,
if you want to say I'm testing all of this,
I don't mind working out. That's just my thing. I don't mind.
Either.
I don't mind the the pain of working out type. I don't know. It just doesn't bother me. It was either the plank. I didn't expect. Like I said, we were kind of off on the plank being the what was going to replace it.
Yeah, definitely was.
So, but we were definitely dead on that the leg tuck was going to go away. So if you guys, we shared on the main page and on WTF Nation Radio's Facebook page, the town hall that Sergeant Major of the Army had,
and all the questions that he had, a lot of the implementation stuff. This is the stuff that I really wanted to pay attention to. Now, he said April 1st, 2022 is when soldiers can continue to take the diagnostics. To April 1 is the window. From April 1st to October 1st, that's a window. And he even said specifically that if a soldier wants to say, hey, my April 1st diagnostic APFT is good for the record, then that's the clock starting at October 1st, 2022 is when he said that you can, he stated the window of taking it April 1st for a diagnostic, and then once October 1st hits of this year, then the soldier can say, yep, that's the test that I want. That's my test. Or he can take it again and begin taking the test of record. So from April 1st to October 1st, it's a diagnostic. Now remember, he gave the soldiers the option to say, yep, this is my test. Now, here's my freaking here's my busting out on Big Sarge. I guarantee it.
It's going to happen. I can read your mind.
1 April, right? 1 April through 1 October, soldiers and units are going to be like, yeah, we're going to take this, we're going to take that. But because units like pretty little slides that say green instead of amber or red, or DTMS numbers or something like that, don't like it. How much you want to make a bet? As a matter of fact, if your unit makes you take another ACFT, when the Sergeant Major of the Army said you can elect to use that test from April 1st in between October 1st as your test of record from October 1st, how much you want to bet Big Sarge is going to say, no, you didn't take another PT test?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what's going to happen? And just going along with all of these dates that they've thrown out, as of right now, I'm talking about specialist and sergeant promotables. It is still their last record APFT. They're counting for promotion points. And you can still give those soldiers, like, let's say, a soldier that needs more promotion points can still take the APFT to bump up their promotion points. All right, so just throwing that one out there right now.
Right. I think SMA should just call in and just like jump on the camera right quick. Might as well just get some clarification.
Give us a call. Give us a call there, for instance.
And so then, April 1st, 2023, we have the reserve component start taking the ACFT for record. So all regular Army and active Guard reserve soldiers must have a record ACFT. And then, of course, reserve component soldiers must have a record APFT April 1st, 2024. I don't know. I think this timeline is pretty fair. I think it's a fair timeline.
Because we know it's going to take our other components longer to get this done, considering how long it takes. And they're only there, 1 week in a month, supposedly. So it is going to take longer for them to get it done. So I do think that's a realistic timeline.
Right. I mean, Chris, Sergeant Major of the Army Chandler says so. We're talking about the tattoos.
He's like real mad that I was all worried about tattoos.
Yeah, he was all worried about that. Exactly.
Drag carry.
Yep. Tattoo drag carry. Anyways, so let's go ahead and continue to look at the rest of it. So the time phase policy, personnel policy. So there you go. PME April 1st, 2022. I keep saying April. October 1st. 2022, and then flags, reenlistments, evaluations, NCO evaluation board, October 1st, October 1st, 2022. Regular Army and AGR, Army Reserve is April 1st, 2023. National Guard is April 1st, 2023. And then E6 promotion points for regular Army is April 1st, E5, E6, I should say, right. April 1st, 2023, and then separations with of course, with Army Reserve as well. So regular Army, AGR, and Army Reserve are kind of like on their own time, with the exception when it breaks off to National Guard will be issued the Army National Guard, Department of the Army National Guard. I think it's just National Guard Bureau. I don't know. That whole National Guard thing.
They'll get around to it.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. April 1st, 2024. You got plenty of time.
Right.
This is again, this timeline I think is fair. I think this is a fair timeline, and I think this is I honestly, I really think that it's fair enough. It's pretty. It looks, I don't know, pretty per level cost. So remember, April 1st to October 1st of this year is your window to take an ACFT diagnostic. 1 October, soldiers can elect I should have pulled that video clip. I should have pulled it up when he said that. So that way Rick can see him say it. So it's not just a meme. Because I'm pretty sure someone's going to say, no, that's fake news from Ukraine or something. Because everyone's been on that kick lately. So from April 1st to October 1st, it's going to be a diagnostic. October 1st, soldiers can elect to say, yep, that's my record. God, I know.
We're going to hear about it.
Someone's going to say something. Someone's going to cry and say, well, not cry, but some big sergeant's going to say, no. I mean, there's nothing wrong with improving your score, too.
Oh, there's not. And you know what else? I really have to say this. Like, this did not outlaw leg tucks. You really can do them, like, as much as you want.
You can still do leg tuck. Yeah.
You can go find a bar.
Tuck away.
You can leg tuck your life away if
right.
you like. They didn't make them illegal. You're still
right.
allowed
Leg tucks,
to do them.
Leg tucks. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
No, you could still do climbing drills at PT.
Climbing drills, yeah.
You can do all this.
Right.
You're just not getting tested on it. Sorry. But you still get to go run, so you're good for that.
You still get to go run and say that running is part of leadership or something like that.
Yes, you still get to do that. Oh, God, it just kills me. I don't want to say they, I hate that word. A lot of people act like they outlawed them. Like, you're never allowed to talk about a leg tuck again.
Right. You cannot.
Talk about leg tuck.
Right. As a matter of fact, hey, Big Sarge. Okay, I do sometimes have a Big Sarge moment, and I would a Big Sarge moment for me.
Go on.
I'd make everybody still do leg tucks for PT.
I mean, like I said, it's not going to hurt.
I'd still make people do leg tucks.
It's going to.
I still do. Yeah.
Straight.
I still do leg tucks. Hey, you need to knock out 5 leg tucks, and then we do when we do circuit drills or something like that. You can still do that. Yeah, I mean, it'll help out.
You're still allowed to do them.
You're still allowed to do them, exactly. So again, I'm saying this again, everyone. This is from the Sergeant Major of the Army. Everyone, the ACFT field testing manual from 2018 is outdated. Please refer to ATP 7-22.01 and Army Exord 153-22 Annex A for test administration guidance. And that was hot on the street. So the next thing now, grass drills, exactly that, man. See, you're on it. Everybody knows the deal. Okay, the next thing is the grading scales. Okay, we're gonna go to the grading scales.
Let's talk about
Let's talk about the grading scales. So, as Arnold says, unfortunately, it's not gender neutral. It's not.
I don't know. And for some reason, the internet exploded and is blaming women for, I don't know, losing the Civil War because our fists still going to be physically different.
Women, what? Women gonna do what?
It's our fault.
It's women's fault that we lost the Civil War. We won the Civil War. What are you talking about? What are you?
Yeah. Well, no, you didn't because you were back at Bragg. That's how I lost.
Oh, the Civil War in between for ACFT. Okay, gotcha. I was like, what Civil War are you talking about? We won them shits.
Oh man, this just kills me.
Okay, so the grading scales. So now, if you look at it, I'm kind of all I got to do is show up. all you have to do is show up, Spanky.
For the deadlift, yeah, I think that. I honestly, I think what they did with that deadlift is, whoever they were, wherever they got these weights from, they must have, I'm not saying these women weren't in shape, but they must have found the tinier side of the women, I do think the deadlift is probably a little, way too easy for females. I'll say it.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Say that again to make sure that we're recording this. What did you just say?
Okay, let me put it way too easy to max.
Way too easy to max. Okay.
For the deadlift for females. Like I said, I'm not, I don't think it is it's easy, but that's, I get putting where the passing, I don't understand how that's all across the board, where the passing is the same for a 17-year-old as it is for a 62-year-old, but whatever, they want everybody to at least be able to deadlift this amount, 120 for females and 140 for males. I don't know.
That's. I mean, and then look at the rest of the scores too. So let's look at that. So say it straight right now. So right now, what we're saying is that young women are being graded in the same capacity as old dudes.
Yes.
And so the yeet throw, the hand release push-ups. I mean, literally, it is that, and then that's it. That's literally the. I don't know, man. This. You're a no go at the deadlift station. Yeah, you just got to show up, dude. The olds can do this. I'm gonna tell you what though. That plank, dude.
That's just too easy for me.
I mean,
I can plank all day.
I was like, man, this is bullshit with the stupid leg tucks and blah blah. I'm like, let me see if I can do a plank. I'm not gonna tell you what my plank time was, but it wasn't. But it wasn't in the max scale. I was like, holy crap! Yeah, exactly, Shane. 10 hand release push-ups to pass.
Yes, and that's for both male and females. Yeah, it really is. That's their casting. They got like this baseline. They want everybody to be able to do at least 10. So, and then I don't think the hand release push-ups, the difference in the gender is that much until they get really older. But, and then at sprint, drag, carry, again, they have like this base time. And there is a pretty big difference. And again, that has to do with, cardiovascular and strength. So,
and Maud's got a good point. All that you still have to run.
And the original ACFT .1 was not supposed to have a 2-mile run. Right. But, all those, people that if you can run fast, you good soldier, just could not let that go.
You could, if you
like you don't even know how to know how to read as long as you can run fast.
Can we pick it on an MOS?
We can. We definitely can. I'll be the first one to do it. It's like, oh, you got blue cord, you run fast, you good soldier. Here you go, be sergeant in the army.
Yeah, really. Shut up, Biff. Anyways, oh man. So the 2-mile run. Looks like the 2-mile run times actually got a little higher though. For minimum score for males and women. It is.
Yeah, the minimum ones did definitely go way up.
Yeah, so the minimums really quick got 22 minutes for 60 points for until you got into a little bit older. I mean, look at that. These are like failing. I don't even want to look at the old.
No, these passing times. So that 60-point time.
No, what I'm saying those back in the day were failing times though. Like for some of these age groups were failing time.
Yeah. So they did take into consideration that you have to, like what Ahmad said, do all of this before you run. So they know you're not going to run like as fast as you did like in an APFT. So at least they, thought about that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's and also, yeah, that's a good point, Corey. That is a real good point. Checking out the standard for the form on the plank. What is it? Is it like a push-up? Body needs to be generally straight. You know what I mean? What's the?
They're gonna screw that up.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're gonna have people that are gonna. You're right. There's people that sag in the middle, put their ass up in the air.
I mean, there are gonna be people with big booties and big guts, and that gut's gonna hang down. And it looks like you're sagging, but you're not.
Or I don't know. I mean, them big guts might be kind of like facilitating them in their plank.
Well, you know I mean? No, I'm just telling you. I'm a big-chested girl, and I used to have that same problem with push-ups, saying you need to go lower.
I know. I'm about to say.
Hitting ground. Yeah. How much further?
When we did PT with units, and we were doing push-ups, and you're like, I can't go down. I that's it. That's the. How do you plank? How do you? I mean, this is a.
They did not give.
You just might as well just like move your arms out.
You're gonna put one of those level things that you use in construction to make sure shit's straight. You're gonna put one of those on people's back. I don't know.
Or get a plumb line. Those lines that you have to like make sure that everything's straight, and then. Doof. So. Yeah, I could just imagine people are going to be like wondering how they're going to do that leveling stuff and like that. That you're right, Corey. That right there is a factor that I didn't even think about. Yeah. Was the form for the plank, just like we had a form for the push-up. and that is, oof, man.
Well, that just leaves it up to Big Sarge to make up a standard. That's exactly what it is.
Right,
so
right.
Hopefully, like what Christopher said, is
right.
that during this time while they're still working shit out, that will get clarified, and they'll put out some like Frago to the Exort or whatever to let people know exactly what to do.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure there'll be a Frago to the Exort to the annex to the appendix. That's gonna.
Yeah.
That's
Wait,
gonna.
It'll be or Frago 735.
Yeah, it's gonna be AR Big Sarge -71, and it's gonna be you're gonna have to. Sean said it's called He's like he just broke your balls too. He's like it's called a level.
Oh yeah, I see your little face. It's okay. I know. Yeah, that's what it is. I even have one of those. It's pretty pink.
The pink one with the. We have to we'll circle back here. Circle back to the level, the plumb line. So I think I saw on social media there were some soldiers that were doing a planking competition. And right now, currently, the record, I think Sergeant Major of the Army even posted too, was 7 minutes. A unit was having a plank contest to see who could plank the most. And I think, let me verify this stuff. Let me go on the socials right quick and triple double check so that way we can, far be it for me to be putting out bad information and have the entire world of social media, especially Mill Twitter, going off and saying, you're preaching out bullshit. Brag. Which is normally what they'll do. So
while you're looking that up, I'll answer Ahmad's question. Like, if you only have someone that can do certain events, the standard right now is still you have to complete an aerobic event.
Correct.
So if you only get out there and do the 2.5 mile walk, you have successfully completed an ACFT.
Yeah, even Sergeant Major of the Army did go through, and that's a good question too. I should have gotten some more notes on that one. Sergeant Major of the Army discussed he did mention the points for how many points you could do if you have an alternate event or something like that, or if you have to complete. So the plank.
Oh, and I don't remember how that's going to work for promotion.
Right, exactly.
I think it probably will be like it is now, where or something similar, like right now, like if you're on a profile and the only thing you can do is an alternate aerobic event, your PT score is 180 for promotion.
So Alpha Company 73rd Ordnance Battalion had a plank competition, and it was a private Bosarje. Bosarji. I don't want to mess up the name. Bosarje would be the name that I would pronounce it in Spanish. Of course, not everything has to have a Latin twist to it, but you know how I am. I just like to throw an accent on there.
Yeah.
I'll just call Private Bo completed a plank at 7 minutes. 7 minutes, 73rd Ordnance Battalion. So right now, if you go on Sergeant Major of the Army social media, you'll see 7 minutes. So get it, Sarge. Can you beat 7 minutes? I think there should be plank competitions left and right.
Yeah, there might as well be. Y'all like to do races and see who can run best. See who's got that core strength.
You got the core strength. And then I got, five leg tucks? For the guys that were talking about leg tucks, you want to go ahead and talk about that too? So all the guys that were shit posting on leg tucks and all this stuff, hey, look, the test of the record now is the test of record now. I think it's like Sergeant Major of the Army said, it'll be like 40 freaking years before another one comes up.
Right?
There'll be another test. Now, we'll say this. I'm surprised that we didn't hear anything about ABCP, the Army Body Composition Program, but I think there's change right now. It was mentioned in the town hall. Again, go to the Army's Facebook page, go to WTF Nation Radio's Facebook page, go to U.S. Army WTF Moments. That town hall was about the ACFT and the way ahead. And he did mention that there is going to be an update. There's some discussion on that, and he's going to provide the whole thing. Again, I should have pulled that note down, but I totally see that comment in the chats. I should have pulled that down for my notes here. But since we were talking about we wanted to hit the grading scale, we wanted to hit the final events, and we wanted to kick back and forth the leg tucks being gone. Do we want to play some some Sarah McLachlan music.
I know. I'm sorry that all you guys.
I will say this now.
Such a hard on for these leg tucks for the last 2 years. Like there was going to be the new marathon. Like those marathon runners. That was going to general.
That was going to be the new. That was going to be the new the Spanky's CrossFit. No leg tuck.
That was going to be like the new. How do you decide who's a good soldier?
Exactly.
Oh, you can only do 2 leg tucks. Oh, you're a shitbag.
See, you know what? I mean, you bring up a good point with that, though. I mean, not talking about the shitbag part, but you bring up a good point. Is that there are a lot of soldiers out there that really put in some good effort and really pushed themselves, and they didn't think they could do a leg tuck, and they were able to knock them out, and they were just crushing it. And you could see their successes on social media. They were posted on TikToks or Instagram, and they were so proud of themselves, and they worked all hard for that because they were like, yes, male and female. There were some males that couldn't do leg tucks either, and now it's he is. One Punch Dad's gonna come on in about 10 minutes. In about 10 minutes, so he's gonna be on here to shoot the breeze. But yeah, so I mean, hey, look, like you said, Spanky, you can still do leg tucks. It's not
illegal. It's promise. They're not going to give you an AR-15 for getting out there and knocking out.
Come on, Big Sarge. They won't med board you. What? What'd you say? They're not gonna.
Oh no, this was like it was just a little thing we had going on about you only have to do an aerobic event to have a valid PT test. Even with new ones, like literally could be on profile for everything else.
Right.
Yeah. So and as long as you're still deployable, they won't med board you as long as you can walk 2.5 miles.
Gotcha.
And I mean, there's other things too, like being able to carry a weapon, blah 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 blah, and you still So there's all, but. Yeah, just sorry. That's what the med board thing is, and they also won't med board you for not being able to do a leg tuck now.
They're gonna be like, you can't do like again. It is an authorized exercise, so when everybody freaks out, if you can only do an aerobic, how are you deployable? I'm gonna be honest with you. I've seen some permanent.
Exactly, because I was one of those people the last 4 years I was in.
Yeah.
After my back issue. I couldn't do push-ups or sit-ups. I could fucking rock. I was like, I'll even say I did the Baton Death March on that same profile. I couldn't do a push-up or sit-up to save my life, though. I mean, it's just because of the way my back was.
I have seen many of individuals deploy with said permanent profile and injuries.
Yeah.
So
as long as you can, carry 50 pounds and shoot a weapon and not like I was going to be rucking into battle or anything anyway with my job, but I'm like I said, after my back got busted and I didn't want to let them do surgery because that wouldn't have helped. So yeah, like I said, the way those discs were busted, I couldn't do push-ups or sit-ups. I mean, I could do push-ups at first, but then it was just holding it like that for 2 minutes. I just couldn't do it. Like, I could have still passed push-ups if I'd only done the minimum and got up, but yeah.
Right.
So, no, yes, you can still be deployable without doing push-ups or sit-ups. So, like I said, I'm sure there'll be more changes when it comes to this new one. But as of right now, it's the same. You only have to complete an aerobic event.
True that. Yeah, there you go. So, I've not seen... as a matter of fact, I have seen... I wonder how many people who've been awarded like Silver Stars and Bronze Stars with Valors, or hell, even Medal of Honor. How many of them were like on a profile? You know what I mean? How many of them were? Did they?
Oh, I'm sure there's.
You know what I mean? There's got to be something like that. What was their medical status?
Because you can't even put anybody in for a certificate of achievement without attaching their PT card to it.
Well, I mean, since everybody's medical records in vogue now to be busting out if you've been coof sprayed or not. So I got to figure,
right.
Was this individual coof sprayed or something like that? Since then, I like keeping that energy because all the performative leaders that were all about it. And also their stuff. I wonder what other parts they were performative about too. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah. I wonder how many guys were on pro. Just think about it too. There might have been a Silver Star recipient that have done some stuff that might have been on profile, didn't tell nobody or didn't know it. Nobody knew it. Or the command probably said, he's on profile. This will look bad if a permanent profile won was awarded a Silver Star. Yeah, that's a curiosity thing.
Yeah, I'm like trying to think about how I can look that up. I'm sure.
I'm sure
that
this
data is somewhere.
Yeah. I need to breathe at own pace and distance. How many officers were on deployment? Depends. I don't know. Depends on what. If you look at a task force, it seems like it's always officer heavy and Joe lower. Almost like, I don't know. Not as bad as Ivan though. You hear about Ivan getting their asses kicked in the Ukraine? Man, they're getting jacked up. They're going through more generals in the Confederacy.
Right. Let's start naming some posts after that.
Yeah, so I mean, on the Russia side, you mean Ivan just naming some posts for all these generals that got slaughtered. Oh man, could you wait a minute? I'm gonna do it. A joke came to mind. Oh, hang on.
Hold on.
Ivan is getting smoked, man. Ivan is getting smoked by the. I love it. I love it. Serves his ass right. Serves Ivan right. For trying to pull some shit.
Right. Just go be Russia. Leave little Ukraine alone.
Yeah, go be Russia and go do your own stuff. And then
do Russia things.
Do Russia thing. Yeah, exactly. Hang on. There was a joke that I usually play. I am doing it, Amon. Hang on. I usually I made fun. What was it when we were naming the bases and we had a bunch of guys who got pissed off in the chats, and so then I started making fun of them, and so I had a soundtrack to them that I would play, and they got mad.
I mean, it's always the ones that talk the loudest. For no reason, get so mad.
They got so mad because we were talking about the base rename and how currently right now there has been, and we're going to talk about that in another Sergeant's time.
Yeah, we definitely only got like 8 minutes to break. Yeah, we don't have time to get into that.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll take us 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So there were some guys that were pretty pissed off that we were talking about the base rename, and we had posted names of what we thought should be names of new posts. Like, for instance, I want, and it's just me, I want Fort Benning to be renamed Fort Alwyn Cache, home of the General Sherman Maneuver Center of Excellence type of thing, to kind of like dig it in, because, getting us over. So what I did was I played some Civil War music, and I said, "My dearest Jessica, I was on air, pissed me off because he was talking about renaming Fort Benning." And so, as I'm saying right now, is like, we were talking about that too with Ivan. So,
and anything that will make the term Backett Bragg obsolete.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Well, how to do a Russian accent with a Southern accent mixed together? How would you do that? Martyris Babushka. We got so many losses in Ukraine. Kicks our ass with Sage Javelin. Anyway, sorry. The combat tactical second. Yeah, exactly. Combat tactic of assault center of excellence. Exactly. So anyways, we were trolling a bunch of guys really pissed off and like really trying to like spam bot us too, because we were just talking about renaming Fort Alwyn Cache. What's wrong with naming it? The next Ken Burns documentary. You ain't lying, Shane. So we were doing the same thing. So we were trolling these guys who were getting pissed off and really triggered about renaming, from Confederate generals to Alwyn Cache or General Ridgway. We were just like, what was it? We were calling Fort Bragg, Fort Sherman, Fort Ridgway, Fort Gavin. Man, you want to talk about everyone talking about being triggered and stuff like that? Man, there was some triggering.
They were more mad about that than they were ponytails.
You ain't lying, man. And then when we said change Fort Hood to Fort Benavides, and we were posting signs up, and God, they were going, oh man, people were freaking the hell out.
Oh,
so,
man.
Yeah, so that
easy to get big Sarge mad.
Oh man, big Sarge,
or especially big retiree Sarge.
Big retiree Sarge. Yeah, big Sarge, bracketed R, bracketed retired. Those are the ones, especially the ones that never that decided to stay at one post forever because they got the good old boy network there Fort Clinton. Which one would they be at? That would be like in Arkansas? Was there a post in Arkansas? Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate this. Thank you for this honor of naming a post after me. Thanks, ICE, for being an advocate. We appreciate it. Fort Hood needs to be shut down. I tell you what, it needs something. Right now, it's burning right now. Currently.
It is. It's on fire right now. Them kids out at the range and set shit on fire.
Yeah. What's up with that? Fort Hood. So, anyways, we got like a minute or so. We got a few more minutes before we go on break. And then we're gonna set up our guests for tonight. I can't wait. One Punch Dad. And One Punch Dad is gonna be on, and all in his glory. Some of the things you saw. Who knows? This is unscripted, so you know how warrants go. We'll see. Fort Hood change to Fort Bush. Normally our breaks are about between 8 to 10 minutes. So there you go.
Play some music for you.
Play a couple of music tracks for you, then a couple of stingers and bumpers. And this station is the most powerful, station in the universe. I suggest we use it. And then this is an atrocity type stuff. So we throw us a couple stingers out and jokes, and then we'll come back. And that's how it works. So with that, we're gonna take a break right quick, and shots. Stand by.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
Nothing feels the same. Let it all be Is this where you draw the line? 'Cause it's so sad. Tell me where you lost your faith. Is it so bad? Couldn't see it in your face. And it's so sad. I'll wait until you come back. Come back down to me. I'll wait until you come down. Come back down. Why you keep it in your head? Is it so bad? Never heard a word you say it, and it's so sad. Tell me when you lost your way, 'cause it's so bad. I'll see you when I pray, and it's so sad. I'll wait until you come back. Come back down to me. I'll wait until you come down. Come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back. Come back down to me. I'll wait until you come down. Come back down. Is it what you want? Is it what you needed now? Is it what you breathe? Is it what you're bleeding now? Is it what you feel? Is it what you're feeling now? Is it what you wanted? I'll wait until you come back. Come back down to me. I'll wait until you come down. Come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back. Come back down to me. I'll wait until you come down. Come back down. Hello, hello, you. Will you come back down to me? Hello, hello, you. Will you come back down? Hello, hello, you. Won't you come back down to me? Hello, hello, you.
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back. Back with our guests. One Punch Dad. Man, welcome, Chief. How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's good to be here.
Brother, I'm just good. We're kind of pumped because I mean, to us in the WTF Nation, you are our celebrity, man. We love the mocking. We love the I shouldn't say mocking, but the imitation of leadership we think is on point. So tell us about yourself, man.
So I'm a chief warrant officer in the United States Army. I've been doing that for about, I'm coming up on my 7th year as a warrant officer. Before that, I've been an air defender my whole career. Came in the Army as a 14 Juliet, which you can't find anymore. We're not around. There's not very many. ED, and I had gotten fired from my last job before I joined the Army. So I really didn't have any like qualifying. I was just kind of a guy who was like, hey, that job sounds smart. I'll do that. And I got stuck in air defense, kind of unwittingly. And I kind of ended up finding my calling. And I decided I kind of wanted to, I kind of saw where the branch was going. And about, 6 or 7 years into my career, I realized that if I really wanted a seat at the table to fix some of the issues with my branch, because every branch, as you guys know, has issues, and it needs people of influence to kind of jump in there and get involved if they want to fix it, instead of just ETSing because it sucked. So I said, I'll take a seat at the table, and became a warrant officer, and never looked back, man. It's weird. 14-year-old me would be very disappointed to realize that my passion in life is working on tactical data systems and making Patriot systems talk to Avenger systems, talk to, IFPC systems, and, but here I am, and I love my job. Best job I ever had.
Tanker's gonna get pissed off because you're like stealing. That's like a tanker line now that everyone's like using. Ever since that movie Fury came out, everyone's like trying to slick their hair up like red.
Yeah, temporarily repurpose that for this episode. It really is. It's a good job, and there's stuff about it that sucks, man. I mean, there's stuff in every branch where you're just like, we have these issues that we just create for ourselves, and I think that's true of. I think everyone from the infantry to AG, it's just like, man, the branch is just, it feels like they're walking around shooting themselves in the toes. But it takes people who are devoted to the craft to say, hey, okay, we're going to jump in and we're going to try to redirect the ship, and take it in a direction where, where we're actually doing something, we're getting after what our intent is. So, and that's why I became a warrant officer. I feel like that's the best place for me to do that.
So how long did you spend as a soldier though? I mean, what was because then
Yeah, so I dropped my packet pretty early. So a little backstory: I came in 08, kind of after the surge. Kind of had everything was kind of. It seemed like at the time it was cooling off. Of course, 14 years removed from that, it's never really cooled off. It just kind of shifted and evolved. But anyway, I came in as an air defender. Didn't really care. I just, I wanted a job that sounded smart because I wanted to kind of roll that into a career, and this one, I think computer was in the job description. I literally think that was the qualifying factor. It was just like, it sounded smart. I had no idea about air defense or anything. So, I picked this job. I got into it. I was kind of lackluster at first. And then right around the time I picked up specialist, I had a platoon sergeant at the time, who has since passed away. He kind of had one of those moments where, and he was not an air defender, but he had kind of one of those take the hat off, put a hand on your shoulder moments where he was like, hey man, you need to get it in gear. You need to really, and it's not because like, I need you to get it in gear. His words were, you have way more potential than you're showing us. And I want you to show us. And so that kind of lit the spark, and became a, I started gunning and going to, schools and got my points. I made sergeant. That was a big deal. I was about 3.5 years in. I made sergeant, went to Korea. Korea is a great place as an air defender to learn your craft because it's a 24-hour mission over there. We're always watching. They're in the news today even. And there's air defenders that are learning their craft right now because of what's going on in the news. But about 6 or 7 years in, it was about 2014. I was kind of tossing around the idea of putting in a packet. And then Sergeant Major of the Army Chandler came out that he was going to implement some guidance that if you had tattoos below the elbow, you were not going to be allowed to request a commission. And my warrant officer at the time was like, Green,
Oh man.
As an afterthought, literally as an afterthought, I thought, well, I'll put it in and see what happens. And I put it in, and I was a first time qualified non-select. Looked good, but they just didn't need me. They didn't need young E5s that badly. So I was like, I kind of figured. So I went to ALC. I ended up making staff sergeant, all that stuff. And then my packet, unbeknownst to me, got reboarded, and I got picked up. So my whole time as a staff sergeant, I was just kind of waiting to go be a warrant officer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's that is so in your units of assignment, did you actually get to work air defense? I mean, were you really because you always hear about some guys in their technical jobs don't really work their craft. Did you get an opportunity to at least work your craft? And now?
Yes. I was very lucky. There's a lot of specifically, so I'm a 140 Alpha, which is a command and control systems integrator. So I work with the systems that connect Patriot, Avenger, the sensors, and a lot of the future systems that are coming out. We make them talk, and we connect them to the joint force. Honestly, the main goal of that is so that we don't commit fratricide. That's really the primary goal of tactical data links. And that's what I do. So I don't want to give the impression that I was out there just, hoofing it with a stinger on my back or anything like that. But no, I was very lucky. I have a lot of peers who, were really squared away. 14 Juliets, or now it's 14 Golf and Hotel, are the feeder MOSs for my warrant officer MOS. But because they were squared away, they got sucked up to be a sergeant major's driver, or they got sucked up to be, hey, you're really squared away, but our orderly room needs someone to square away,
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I won't get into it now because I had an article published a couple months ago about how the 14 Golf and 14 Hotel MOSs and even ill-utilized at these organizations, kind of in that way. So. Sorry, I did the whole. I wrote an article, Flex. I didn't mean to.
You wouldn't be an officer if you weren't. Now, are you considered an officer of warrants now? Because I heard now that you guys are like commissioned now, and now you.
So there was a time. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
You're good.
It's the Warrant Officer Candidate School. It used to be called the Warrant Officer Corps. We were we were our own thing, and just hey. We had our own corner of the playground, and this line, and then some general, I don't remember which one, decided that he didn't like that, or they didn't like that. So we were brought under the officer corps, and we are now the warrant officer cohort. So a lot of my not being a clown on the internet content, you'll see usually the hashtag steward the cohort, which is essentially like, hey, we're building this corner of the office for, but yeah, we call it the cohort of warrant officers now.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sounds cooler anyway, right?
Right. It sounds Army-ish, R4 Gen thingy type of excellence. Right.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, well, okay. So then you had a, okay, I'm trying to work on my, because I was really messing up yesterday on air because I keep catching myself saying, I got little, I guess you'd say ticks, and my thing is so I've been trying to really stop the so. I say so too much.
You're doing great, Ice.
Yeah, I'm just like the TikTok stuff. What? First off, I like your choice in anime because I'm a huge Metal Gear Solid fan.
Oh man,
yeah, exactly.
That's a whole nother episode. We don't have time.
Yeah, well, that'll be episode 2 of this podcast. But the TikTok stuff, you have exploded on the web with this. I mean, literally, pick your. How do I say this? You pick something from our lifestyle in the military, and you're able to drill it down so well. It's not even disrespectful. It's almost like you're literally catching how we are. The video we played today was you're okay. I was an ops sergeant major. I worked in division staff. I work in a joint staff, and man, you were nailing that lieutenant colonel
circle back. It's all about core development. And then you did the sergeant major thing, and bro, you nailed it. Have you gotten any shit for it?
So no, I haven't. I think a lot of 100%, like people have written it in the comments, because when I did the first one where it's kind of more of a front facing, it's like it's no cuts. It's a brief with the lieutenant colonel, and he's talking about like the slides and all that stuff. And I had a couple people that were like, "Oh, you better be careful, brother. You might want to take this down." And I was like, I hope they see it. I hope they see how congruent their behavior is, because I'm not kidding you, hundreds, I'm not overblowing this number. Go look at the video. Hundreds of people be like, "That's my lieutenant colonel. That's my BC. That is my boss. Whatever. That's my G3."
Yep.
And it's not. I'm not trying to blow my own horn. Like, yeah, I nailed it. But there is, and I have a friend who's a major. He's at CGSC right now, and he was like, "Yeah, man, you're like." Some buddies called me over the other day and were like, "Have you seen these?" I was like, "Oh no, I haven't seen it. It was your video." And even the cadre at CGSC was laughing at it, and I was like, "Good. It's not bad. They're not doing anything wrong.
Right.
We're just having a laugh.
Right.
And they do that. It's real."
Have you had any members of the sergeant major cohorts come at you?
My buddy, who is my former first sergeant, one of the finest, and I'm not trying to butter his biscuit, but he's one of the finest non-commissioned officers I've worked for. But Jason Abatua, he's at USASMA right now, and he commented, he was like, "Damn, you're really gonna do me like that, man?" And I commented back. I was like, "I learned it from watching you."
Exactly.
But no, awesome. Man, it's all been good. In comedy they say it's best to punch up.
Of course.
And I'm kind of a warrant officer, so it's like I can kind of punch everyone if I want to. But I mean it all in love. I have a lot of love for, some of my greatest colleagues are lieutenants and captains. Some of my most dear mentors are senior non-commissioned officers and field grade officers, and just just soldiers knowing their stuff. I get inspired by everyone, and so I make fun of them as a reward.
What's your thoughts on the ACFT?
Oh man, golly! I was watching that whole bit with you and Spanky talking about it. Here's my thing, man, because I like fitness. I think the Army's paying a lot of attention to the events and the severity of the events and the intensity, and that's okay. I think that's a problem to solve, right? It's not an easy problem. If it was easy, I think we thought it was easy for a long time, and we said, okay, push-ups, sit-ups, and run, go. And then we realized, okay, well, maybe it's more complex than that. I think we maybe need to be taking a closer look at the actual human factor in that. And for me, a lot of that has to do with the body fat, the way we measure body fat. Do we measure body fat? If a soldier is able to max all the events, if they're able to, whatever the equivalent of getting that goofy patch on your gray APFT top, if they're able to do that, what is the point of the ABC? An appearance, and I know a lot of people say, well, it doesn't look professional if you're chubby, and all that stuff. And I you saw my beard video, so my appearance, my ideas about appearance as a pageant, notwithstanding, I think we're looking at some of the wrong things as far as fitness. A lot of it is, or the event's hard enough, or the event's too hard. Let's look at the people we're bringing in the military. We have females who are able to deadlift 315, but they don't pass tape.
Right.
Maybe that's the thing we should be looking at.
You hit it right in the head, because that was when the ACFT was first coming out, and me and Spanky were to have several sergeant time arguments about it and all that. It would be most of that right there. We felt that if you're able to max your APFT or ACFT at the time, ACFT version, beta version, I guess you would say, you should
you should be exempt from it. You should be, you know what I mean? There's some individuals, like we said before, that think that it's all about running, but I guarantee it, all the you run great, you're a good leader individuals would probably fail the ACFT right now because A, they need to eat a sandwich and gain some bulk. And then B, like you said before, we just don't train. Our unit PT culture is not conducive to it. You know what I mean?
No. Yes, absolutely. I think that's another thing that really just, when PRT came out, and I don't know how recently you retired, but 2120 felt fun. 2120 felt like, yeah, we're out here, we're standing in the cold, or we're standing in the muggy, whatever, wherever we're at, and it sucks. But there was something about putting your hands on your hips and saying, follow me, and everyone is saying, lead the way.
Right.
There was a level of motivation to the old, and for anyone who doesn't know, FM 21-20 was what predated PRT. It felt fun. Like, it was a way of saying, like, hey, yeah, this sucks. No one's going to get ripped off of this, but we're going to have a good time, and we did the knees and ankle rotation. We did the hip rotation, we did the hamstring stretch standing. We were, whatever, we made it fun.
You're taking me back. Please continue.
Yeah.
Keep whispering sweet nothings, please.
And then all of a sudden we have PRT, and I'm supposed to be working out, but I'm standing at the position of attention between each. And I'm not trying to throw shade. I know, I'm trying not to be unsupportive of an official Army program. But man, it feels, when I'm in the gym, I don't know about you, but like it's kinetic. I'm moving, like between sets, I want to be up. Yep. I want my blood to be pumping, I want to be pacing maybe, not, starting position move. It feels very robotic.
Yeah. The long sit.
And that's just not conducive to like, hey, let's get jacked. Let's get ripped. Let's be the greatest fighting force in the Army. It's like we're standing very still right now.
And mind you, if you put a kettlebell in front of those same leaders or PT instructors, they would say that it's the stupidest workout ever. You know what I mean? Or you say, why are you going to the gym? You can't go to the gym. That's the thing that kind of threw me off a little bit, was that I thought that with the emphasis on how Army leaders saw fitness, that you think they would, okay, well, let's open up the gyms. Let's do it. Let's knock it out. And then you got exactly that. Get swole. And then the next thing you know, you got some sergeant major, or hell, even some officer will be like, get out of the gym. Leaders need to be out there engaging and being out. And I will go back to your TikTok. Leaders. Leaders engage.
Hey, you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's one of those things, I think one of the best things that, bless his heart, Sergeant Major of the Army, retired Dan Daly, giving us, earbuds in uniform. I think for a lot of people that was kind of like, oh, okay, neat. That, to be able to go into a gym in the middle of your day, if you are a platoon sergeant, you're busy. Your day is as soon as you wake up, it doesn't belong to you. To be able to go into a gym and just remove your OCP top and pop in your AirPods and not have anyone harass you about, oh, you can't, you got to put on civilians if you want to, and just get 30 minutes of deadlift or 30 minutes of bench press. He does. I would dare to say that man doesn't even know what he gave to that community when he put out that guidance. That kind of stuff is what we need. We need to be, and not even just incentivizing, but we need to be encouraging the personal, fitness of every individual soldier. And that extends to whether you're a specialist. What is your schedule? When can we get you to the gym? How soon can we get you to the gym? How can we make going to the gym more comfortable and more beneficial for you? To the major who's working his ass off for the, hey, can we circle back for that guy? How can, because that dude's working his ass off too.
You ain't lying.
And you know what? He deserves to have 60 uninterrupted minutes with his AirPods in, listening to whatever, I don't know, Dave Matthews Band or whatever majors listen to, and get ripped,
I don't even know do majors even listen to music? I mean,
I don't think. Have you seen what is it, Rick and Morty, where it's like human music, boop boop boop. You know,
exactly.
I'm just kidding.
No, I
have
you.
a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends who are majors, but you know, yeah. I'm sure
Morty,
they listen to great music.
Morty, I don't even know what the hell to listen to anymore. What the hell's going on? Morty, what do you mean? One of my, I think. What's funny is that it's most PT time that we see ever since the ACFT roll up, or ever since the emphasis of training for it. A lot of the complaints that we had in the inbox was the fact that platoon sergeants and platoon leaders after formation, the first sergeant would say fall in or whatever, and then not accord the amount of time to do PT, to even do it. Because after the first sergeant has his 5 minutes of fame, at 6:30, that's whatever, few minutes he's going to blow. And then of course the PL and the platoon sergeant are going to blow their minutes. So by then the soldier only has not even 30 minutes at all to do any PT whatsoever. It's almost like literally, okay, all I got to do is time for a short run. You know what I mean? I think the PT period, or our PT time, should be at least 2 hours. That's just me.
I fully agree. And I think, they're probably looking at it, at a literal tax dollar standpoint, like, okay, does it brief well if we tell the open public, like, hey, you're paying for these guys to literally lift weights or get fit for 2 hours a day. There's probably some push and pull there. And I hate to be the guy who's like, if we go live in Sweden, we don't have to pay for health care, or we get this for free or whatever. But look at the Air Force, and I know not everything's perfect in Air Force land, but, a lot of the fitness aspect in that realm is incumbent upon the individual.
Correct.
Now, it's not wholly incumbent on the individual, because if I'm your supervisor, I still have to make sure you're staying fit.
Right.
But if I'm a supervisor who cares about your fitness, and I care about what I'm doing as a supervisor, I'm going to get you to the right place. And that's not, as you said, it's not going to be listening for Sergeant Major for 20 minutes, working out for 30, cooling down for another 20, and then, you got to squeeze chow in. And by that point, it's just like, you might as well just play Call of Duty all morning, man.
Well, did you hear the Space Force is planning on ditching their fitness test to begin with? They're just like going to trash it all. They're going to like,
Good.
Talking about having wearable, tracking devices, making sure that, that at least they're within health standards and all that, like Fitbits and stuff like that.
Good. I see. I'm of the mind, and I'm not infantry. I'm an air defender. I'm P to the O to the G, big time. I think when you look at how SOF approaches, and it's like the Special Forces community, how they approach not even just physical fitness, but just proficiency of anything, writing their name with neat handwriting. If they need to be good at it, they will, as a team or as an individual, they will devote time to that. And I think if you impress upon the individual, and again, this is getting after soldiers as humans, not soldiers as battle roster numbers and feet and boots on the ground. If you can get after the individual buy-in and the incentive for each soldier, you can get them to do that. You can get them to be good at the things that they know. Like, hey, I need you to be good at carrying this heavy ass stinger on your back.
Right.
I love you, man. I don't want to do this to you. I need you to be good at it. If that soldier buys into that, if you can get that soldier to buy, that soldier looks at you as a hero. First of all,
right. Well, I'm also. I retired from the SOF community, and I know even when I don't. When the ACFT talk was coming around, there was no pushback to it. There was no. Everyone was like, men and women were like, okay, yeah. Just another PT, just another. It's almost like another. They were ready to do another obstacle course, and it was
the only thing. And I don't mean to cut you off. I want you to finish. But the only thing that made me mad about that was I was at the apex when they changed it, and I was about to go down in my maxes. So I got some tiny beef. But anyway, continue.
But there wasn't any complaints, only because when you're injured, there's what they call a Thor 3 program where you're rehabbed, you're
you look at, there's even a nutrition program. It's a little, I don't know. It's just for some reason that soft health has a little different take to it that is welcoming to somebody that doesn't feel like, well, sorry we have a crappy schedule. Sorry we didn't know how to do this. Sorry we don't have time management. And sorry we just going to make you do all this stuff and then expect you to do these physical events when we've supported you no end. Oh, by the way, PT is an individual responsibility. You know what I mean? I always want to say go Army soft, but you're going to have to do PT. So that's kind of like you can't just not do PT.
I mean, you're right though. Like if you don't have personal investment on the part of your team, squad, platoon, battery, battalion, you don't have anything. And that's one thing that I have seen consistently. And that's, going back to the TikTok thing, is if you're not looking at people, if you're not evaluating people, and I'm not talking like watching them creepily, like a UPL observer, but sensitive to the human aspect of your formation,
of course,
whether it's 3 people or 300 people. Yeah, you're whatever. Like, your PT is gonna suck, man. That's why. I hate to throw them out there because some of my favorite commanders and even personal friends of mine are HHB and HHC commanders. But what do we do to them? That's our dumping ground in the Army, right? Your HHBs and your HHCs is all the guys that. This guy got in trouble. He can't be on crew. This guy's too fat. He can't be on crew. So we stick them all in HHB and HHC. And now suddenly it's full of these people who just don't have any buy-in. They don't have any, they've been passed off. And they know when they've been passed off. They're aware.
Or we send them to the SFAB.
Yeah, that too. Those guys aren't aware of it yet.
Yeah, exactly. It's you. No, I'm not.
Joke's on them.
Joke's on them. Exactly. See, you get a shit bag.
JK, love my SFAB. Sorry, don't mind me flashbanging me in my living room.
We have a couple of admins that are in the SFAB, so so we always break balls on them too. So, okay, let's go back to the TikTok thing now. What made you do it? What was the catalyst to
the impetus?
Yes.
So this was probably October 2020. Wow, oh my God. It's weird saying that year and it's like a while ago. My wife had gotten on. It's like 6 months into the pandemic, it was a weird time, man. It was just a weird time. But my wife had gotten on. My wife is a dancer and a kind of a performer. She has a musical theater background, and so she was on there doing the trends and doing a lot of this fun stuff. And I miss it. A lot of people don't know this. Before I was in the military, I was an actor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was not in a TV show or anything. I did some professional theater down in San Antonio.
Oh, okay. I was wait a minute. Not on TV. No, what kind of actor were you? No, I'm sorry.
I'm not in the background of CSI, just like holding a trainer. No,
I was talking about porn, but go ahead. Yeah, gotcha.
That's after the Army, guys. Links in the bio. No,
links in the bio. Hookers of blood. Sorry, go ahead.
No. But yeah, so it made me miss it. It made me, because I'd gone on there to watch her TikToks, and I got on there and I'd seen a couple people doing the military TikToks. I was like, hey, I love to see that. I love to see soldiers being silly and singing and dancing, or playing songs on the guitar, playing songs on the piano, doing skits. Skits are funny.
Yep.
Skits are hilarious. I don't care how old or how cool you think you are. Like, a skit is funny to me, even if it's just we're lip syncing to The Office. Well, okay, let's show me what you got. So I got on there and I made my first one, and it was just me in my office doing, I don't even remember what, but the response was very much like, that's the warrant officer. I've never seen one. I've been in the Army. I've been in the Army 15 years, and I've never seen a warrant officer. were the comments I'm getting, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll make another one. And that's, I mean, I kind of just, it snowballed, man. It got out of control very fast. But yeah,
and that, so with that inspiration then, and you grabbing little vignettes of soldier activities, has there been any TikToks that you've done out of spite? Like, oh, okay, this guy, I had a bad day and this dude pissed me off.
Absolutely. Absolutely. and I've done my best to try to make it a personal policy to not do that anymore.
Right.
For two reasons. I really am trying to approach it with kind of that. I'm not trying to be like woo woo or anything here,
right.
But I'm not out here to fight anyone. I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to make people laugh. And there are, TikTokers, some of them military, some of them not. Their entire content stream is fighting people.
Right.
It is them fighting for their life against people in the comments. And the thing about that is an endless fight.
It is.
The big thing right now in the military TikTok community is these vet bros, these, this old fat guy commenting on a young female's page, being terrible, or commenting on, a young soldier's page and be like, "Oh, you're soft, you're soft and I'm hard, and that's that." And, and that's, are they wrong to do that? Maybe. Are you going to shut them up by doing a clap back that gets 1 million views? No, you're not. I had a guy who was he had beef. He did not like me. He was making a lot of videos about me. And I realized that if I clapped back, he ate that up. He devoured that.
Gotcha.
That's what he wanted. And so when he would make a video, he would just stitch it. I would just be doing my joke. I'd be doing my character, be just being a goofy ass warrant officer on the internet, as I do. And he would make a stitch or a thing on TikTok, and I would just like it. I just liked the video. He stopped doing it. He just stopped.
You're right. There is some positivity to that. Spank. We used to call them vet flakes. So
and it sucks because what realistically what I want is for us and them, us serving, them having formerly served, to be united wholly. But I realize
you're
sorry,
right.
Go ahead.
No, you're right. I'm agreeing with you that's the biggest thing that we see in that. That's just weird. Just that vet bro, that mill vet, whatever you want to call it, mill Twitter / mill talk, mill. Name your social media platform. It is always, you would think. I'm always advocating for Soldier for Life, SFL TAP, and sometimes me and Spanky go and speak to units or whatever. And
that's awesome.
And we always want to have that positive, it's hard for me. It really is hard. I feel sometimes kind of cringy when I post something on social media that I'm like, I would not have probably posed in uniform, but I figured I'm a civilian. But then, I don't know, you get that guilt, like you said. You want to punch up. You want to be positive. And sometimes, God, man, I just, okay, I'll admit it. Sometimes I've slapped a couple on back, but you're right. You would think people would be more united in the veteran front.
The best thing I can say, and I know, I've there's a lot of military. I've seen the military content creator community exponentially grow, especially really in the last year with kind of COVID kind of dialing back and all that stuff. Finally, hopefully for good, it's expanding a lot, and there's a lot of really funny soldiers and Marines and sailors and airmen getting on the platform, and I certainly encourage that. I guess, a qualifier I would say is that, you're going to have to deal with, and I hate to say it, I hate to make it a gender specific thing, but especially if you're female, you're going to have to deal with some shitty comments. You're going to have to deal with some of that stuff that's just like, why would you say that to anybody, let alone, a sister in arms?
You look at our Facebook page. Every time we post something about an accomplishment that women soldiers have completed or whatever,
It's always you just look at our comments and it just like hide, ban, hide, ban, make fun of their moms or make fun of their wives, and the next thing you know they get sensitive and we're like, dude, well, you just sat there and thought it was cool to rag on.
It is a bummer, but I will tell you that I think it is a good thing. I think it is a way to. It is giving transparency to the Army, to the military in general. You know, there's a lot of stuff that is straight up just evolving and coming out on TikTok. That's like, oh, we have a problem, and we are realizing this because a soldier made a video about it, and that's good.
You're right.
I think
you're right. No, you're absolutely right. But the biggest part of it too is there's some issues that may not have been brought up unless it was social media or unless it was a TikTok.
Exactly.
We have. Well, I mean, shit. That's what we do. I mean, WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio. We post things like that, and we'll get an email from the commander or the public affairs officer or whatever. Usually more from the commander. PAOs or PAOs. You know what I mean? We're on a.
Accountability is important. It is, and I don't think the Army was ready for the tidal wave of accountability that was going to wash into its face.
Right.
As you know, I mean, you guys have been doing your thing for over a decade now, but now with TikTok, where we can look you in the eye and say, hey, I was harassed, I was assaulted.
Yeah.
This is the guy or the person who did it, straight up. That adds a level of accountability that I think the Army has needed, but it's not the final answer. I think it goes deeper than that, but it's a good tool for sure.
What's your take on the fact that sometimes some things that I don't like or some things that you may not like, and it's posted on social media, and leadership really cracks down on that? Do you think there's some equity? Do you think there needs to be some tightening of, or maybe loosening and understanding of the Army social media policy?
I think it should start with a conversation. You know, the first thing, I had a great commander. I was actually in an Avenger battery when the Iran ordeal happened. I say the Iran ordeal, the original one where they shot the rockets at Al-Assad.
Yeah, I was about to say, which one?
yeah, which one, right? And our commander, unprompted, just pulled us in, all of his platoon leaders, his XO, and me. I was the only warrant officer in the battery at the time. He just pulled us in. We had a candid conversation. We had a great we had a 2-hour conversation. It was a great conversation. Hey, what are your thoughts? What should we be close-souled about? What can we be open about? That was an inspiring moment to me, because that immediately removes the gossip factor. It removes the oh, well, I heard, well, what if this, you know? I think we're criminally under investing in that human aspect, that conversation, you know. And whether it's something like, you know, I mean, 2020 was just a buffet of just things to talk about, you know, whether it was race or whether it was, you know, the pandemic, you know, things like that. How many commanders pulled their leadership into a room and just said, hey, I'm not Captain Johnson right now. I'm just John. Guys, what is going on? What do y'all think, you know?
Do you think on the exterior, the engagement with public media? I'm not I'm old enough. You're old enough to know that back in the day, if somebody from the media said something to us, we would have a media card, and it says, if you're approached by media, only stay within your lane and refer them to the PAO. Now
that was a class, I think it was an online class you had to take.
Right now, you have soldiers in whatever rank, you straight from privates all the way up to generals, clapping back to the media. What happened? And what are your thoughts?
So straight up, that to me, and this feels like a non-answer, but that is a straight up back to the drawing board. Like that is we used to do this to get our phones to talk to each other.
Right.
And now we have, a frequency hop.
Right.
Like straight up,
Right.
like the medium has changed.
Correct.
The medium has changed 100%. And it's a thing where, some education has to occur. And I see military people all the time doing dipshit things on TikTok and they're not all E2s and E3s, to be clear. Some of them are NCOs and some of them are officers.
Right.
And they're stepping across that line. And I want to be upfront that I have made videos before where I think I maybe said something that was a little bit too. Now, as a warrant officer, I kind of like, I play that like, hey, I tell it like it is card, but I feel like I said it on behalf of the cohort, and that's not fair. And so I pulled the video down.
Right. Yeah.
And that's,
you're right.
Now I'm a 14-year CW2. Like I'm gonna have that wherewithal to be like, let's backtrack.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Especially, no, what I'm saying is that especially okay, now I think we need to stop the engagement. Like, you could clap back with each other because there's some things that I'm not going to like on social media, but if I say something about it, I'm going to get a complaint about it, or someone's going to say, I shouldn't have said that to that soldier. Male or female, doesn't matter. And I've done that before. I'm like, hey, dude, you need to chill out. And the next thing you know, I'll get like hey, what are you doing harassing my soldier? And I'm like, well, your soldier's doing this. And then it becomes a pissing contest. And then it's like, look, either me do it or have you all over Fox or CNN or whatever, blasting whatever. So it's just, I was just curious on what your take is on it.
Yeah, I think it's like you said, man. Like, it's things have changed. We really, we have a PAO. Maybe we need to have an SMAO. It's just social media manager for your unit.
Damn,
straight
dude,
up. Like,
yeah, exactly. There needs to be. I was just telling some friends, PAOs like to answer questions, answer queries from the unit information to the public, blah 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 blah. Kind of making your boss look good, but at least answering the questions from the public. And then you have your unit shit posters. Your unit will be like, hey, I didn't like the way that reporter talked to my commander, or I didn't like the way the
straight up.
And then the next thing you know, you name your
that speaks shit post and can negotiate that with some.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah,
have a.
That's a real thing.
That needs to be a warrant officer MOS.
Hey,
we need to have a
career college if you're listening.
Career college, exactly. 1-800 Lake Tuck.
Yeah.
So from that experience, then I know in our chats we share your stuff back and forth, and you have actually, in some of the comments that we've posted of your videos and shared on our inbox, you've actually brought up some good questions. You even said about race, sexual assault, and all this other stuff. So some of the stuff was the most biggest one after the leg tuck thing was the beards. You're always kicking about the beards, and we're always talking about how the Army. What is it with the Army and the beards? What's your take? Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh man, I feel like I should just pull out my like pre-written, just like my statement. Here's my thing on beards. I understand why they don't make sense in every scenario. You spent time in SOF. You can probably say there's probably some environments that are, hey, conducive. It's probably better if you have a beard here because we don't want to be a bunch of bald, skinny face, blonde-headed white guys,
right.
Walking around. And there's times where like, hey, straight up, there's a CBRN threat. And the whole thing, with the, I've had a lot of people tell me, and here's my thing. I've never taken an M50 or an M40, strapped it to my face after 2 weeks or a month of growing facial hair, and actually verified that I could seal it. But I've had a lot of people tell me, beard, as long as it's kind of lined up, doesn't create an issue. Regardless of that, if you say, hey, we're a unit that is, we are being leveraged against a theater with a CBRN threat, and we're going to go to the gas chamber every 6 months. Great. Every 5 months, let me grow a beard. On that 6 months, I'll shave it because it's probably getting unruly and gross at that point anyway. And I've had people tell me like, well, you need, you should be combat ready at all times. Like, I don't feel an urgent need to be combat ready in Huntsville, Alabama. Maybe Killeen, Texas.
I was about to say maybe Killeen, but definitely not.
Yeah.
Have you had anybody come at you policy wise and say, hey, do you want to be a spokesman to kind of like talk Army stuff?
No.
To kind of like
no. I keep my content kind of abstract. I don't know. Here's my thing. I'm here to make people laugh, and I'm here to, I'm not here to be a recruiter. I'm certainly here. I want to help people with, if someone wants to become a warrant officer, I do my best to help everyone who asks. Not as a brag, but I've gotten a lot more followers in the past year, and it's actually been harder to keep up with everyone who's asking for guidance on how to build a packet, how to get an LOR and all that stuff. But I kind of try to keep my TikTok funny, and nothing else, and not funny in a way that's just like it's I'm wearing my uniform. People can see that my name is CW2 Green in the video. They could probably. I've had people find me on Outlook, or I guess whatever Enterprise or whatever it is now. But that's happened. But it's just meant to be a way to say, hey, whether you're a private or a major general, here's the thing we can both laugh at. And if the Army sees that and says, hey, we want you to, be a spokesperson, as you say, that'd be a conversation I would have at that point, but hadn't happened yet. And I think that's because I am a pretty goofy ass dude. So they're just like, this dude's too weird. This dude likes way too much video games.
Yeah. Speaking of which, so let's go back on this anime kick you got. So you had somebody commission an anime drawing of you, and it looks very legit. Looks like you had some. Who did that?
I'm gonna break your heart right now, Ice. That is a Photoshop done by yours truly. I straight up found a picture of Saitama from One Punch Man. Excuse me, sorry, the OG that I liked, and the lower half, the uniform half of that picture is straight up. That's my command photo. So I literally just hyperimposed the One Punch Man onto my body, and that I did that when I started the account, to be clear. That was not like I would love to say like, oh yeah, that was just Photoshop, baby.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, you answered like a warrant. There you go. I want to be honest with you.
Just being real.
Just being real. So what's up with that CW3? When are you looking at for CW3? Is this
1 July
promoting?
Yeah, straight up.
Congrats.
So I have the lowest sequence number in my year group because I'm pretty sure I gotta look at. There's probably a chart somewhere. I will be the youngest CW3 in all of the ADA branch.
Oh wow! Well, congrats.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No, thanks. I had the highest sequence number though, so. Yeah. But yeah, 1 July. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I won't get into it here, but my next job that I'm going to is a place where I'm hoping I can really leave my palm print on air defense and implement some good changes for the branch. So I'm really excited.
Awesome. So you're going to be hanging out at Fort Bliss then, is that what you're saying?
Headed to Fort Sill, back to Fort Sill. Fort Sill is slowly becoming my center of gravity. I can't deny it, but it's one of those places everyone talks about being a dump, but I don't know why, but it kind of grew on me. So
I hear you. Every major center of excellence has something that you can contribute to, and that's kind of like where you.
It's the excellence, man.
It's the excellence of excellence for all excellences of centers of excellence.
I'm saying.
Yeah. Just like Fort Benning would be for infantry and armor, brag because of brag, and it's the center of universe, and it's brag.
There you go.
You need to do
There
a
you go.
brag TikTok, making fun of braggers, and then have you done one yet about brag? Back at brag,
I haven't. So I haven't. I did last year. I was doing this thing where it was people naming their babies after military installations. And the one that I did for Fort Bragg was and I know you've probably seen it because it's an old meme, but it's like the baby who's like yelling, doing the like war face, and he's got an actual Kevlar on. Yeah. But that was baby Bragg. I've never been stationed at Bragg. I've been there a couple of times, but I feel like you have to kind of have some skin in the game to lampoon it, and I've never been there. So
gotcha. I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
So continue to so you can make fun of Fort Sill then, is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, Sill is mine. I run that post. Yeah. No.
Well, if you could tell us, the audience, what are your links? What are your socials? Not your social security number, but where can we find you?
So the big ones right now is TikTok, obviously. One X Punch X Dad. That's really where the party started, as it were. That's the first place where I create my content in TikTok. And then it usually kind of gets transplanted into Instagram. If you're a fan of just like weird, surreal memes, Metal Gear Solid, as Ice alluded to earlier, or just like weird things about my personal life, like my children, you can check out my Instagram, which is the same. It's just 1xpunchxdad. But that's pretty much it. I was Twitch streaming for a little while. I kind of got away from that because there's something about playing video games by yourself that just so much better than having an audience.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that's like a new thing where it's almost people watching you play video games and then they're like trolling you. I've seen that too. It's like, man, you suck. Oh, I wouldn't have done that. I'm out.
Yeah.
You quick
I want to
scope.
be the guy that tells me I suck. I won't want to be that guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Chief, we appreciate you hanging out. I mean, I'm humbled that you would, I mean, this went from professional development to social media to Army stuff, and I mean, it just
let's do it again.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna have to do a part 2 when you're CW3 making fun of Bragg.
We're just gonna have to circle back.
We're just gonna have to circle back here, just find out co-development with these commanders here, and
really walk the dog.
Walk the dog. Co-dev, right?
Hey,
Co-dev.
I'd just like to see a sync matrix if we could. That'd be.
Attached to a horse blanket would really, really flow. Battle captains, this is your lane, right? This is your lane.
Hey, Ice, we're gonna run out of slits if we're not careful.
There's a lot of skin in the game here, right?
A lot of skin in the game.
Oh man, One Punch Dad, thanks so much for hanging out with us in Sergeant's Time.
Ice, love it, man. Thank you, guys.
All right, hang on for a second. We're going to go ahead and kick it to the break, and we'll be right back. We'll be right back, and then shooting the breeze. I didn't even get my music ready. Hang on, I'm kind of like busting here. Normally,
hey, guy. Hey,
where's your music at, man? Huh? Hey, your music?
Hey, come here.
Shut up, Biff. Anyway, so we'll be right back. After we take a break and do some admin stuff with One Punch Dad. Thanks again, Chief. Appreciate it. All right. Stand by.
Yeah. nothing at all. And you can fight, you can hide that you're naked. If you bleed, you won't feel it, you won't see me at all. And you can fight, you can hide that you're naked. If you bleed, you won't feel it, you won't see me at all. And you can fight, you can hide that you're naked. I know they lie, I know they lie, I know they lie, I know they lie.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back. Man. That was some side-splitting laughing. Back to part 2 of Sergeant's Time. Actually, no, that was part 2. Last part of Sergeant's Time, my bad. Woof.
now they're coming in to,
Yeah.
like, what did we leave around?
Wait,
what do we need to clean up?
Yeah, what do we need to clean up? Exactly. Oh, my God. Appreciate you, Chief One Punch Dad, for hanging out with us. It was awesome. And so you go ahead and catch his socials. His Chief on Facebook at 1X Punch X Dad, and on TikTok at 1X Punch X Dad. He's got that X thing in the middle there that kind of like throws me
It's
off there.
at 1X Punch X Dad. Yeah, and I believe that's also his Instagram handle. I was trying to pull that up.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
you can just get on there and search for One Punch Dad. It'll come up.
Yeah, or look for the Chief, or we could throw up. We're gonna keep throwing more of his videos up, anyways. Oh man, that was funny. I couldn't stop laughing. That was that was straight PM. That went from, getting to know him, and then it went straight into PME. We were already talking about sergeanting and stuff. That was like some sergeanting stuff.
Yeah, we can have funny sergeants.
Yeah, we
so they turn into funny chiefs.
We get funny
That's
chiefs.
Where they go.
Yeah, exactly. Blessed be the Lake Tux. I'm gonna tell you what, that was this was an unscripted interview, because we've never interviewed a TikToker before, but that just happened to be in the military.
Not on Sergeant's time.
Not on Sergeant's time.
One other TikToker on, but it was on Friday Night Freedom. Where we usually send all the fun stuff to go. We get some fun stuff every now and then.
Yeah, we got some funnies every
Friday.
Yeah, we get some funnies every now and then. So speaking of Friday Night Freedom,
what is going on?
What is going on
Friday night?
Friday Night Freedom. All right. We are, it's going to be me and Pooks. Friday Night Freedom and tomorrow. So I'm back-to-back hosting. So I'll be on tomorrow. Friday Night Freedom. Yeah, overtime. I got to punch in my clock. It's like, well, I mean, that was off. Yeah, extra snacks. I was out goofing off, and, so I kind of like, since I was out for a week and then Monday, and then I didn't do anything Tuesday. Well, CQ's Tuesday. CQ really wants you to know that he did something on Tuesday. So
yes, I know. The station said we were taking a spring break, and CQ went above and beyond. And worked during the break.
Correct.
That's how CQ rolls.
So tomorrow for Friday Night Freedom is going to be kind of out of character for me, because I will be going off Friday Night Freedom's template. I will be going off for Friday Night Freedom's discussions. So I know I'm going to get a lot of shit, because normally it's Monday edition, discussing stuff and all that. And then Thursday, obviously, is Sergeant's time. But Friday Night Freedom is getting into the realm where freedoming and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I want to keep it within that format. I don't want to have it. It's not going to be this is Cause's show. So I'm flying Cause's plane. I think he's got one of those old World War II planes when we were in Colorado Springs hanging out. I got to learn how to start up. But tomorrow, we're going to have the creator of the St. Javelin meme, the St. Javelin sticker. I will be joined by Christian Boris. I think I don't want to mess up his name, Boris.
I don't know how to say it either.
Yeah, exactly. So the creator of the St. Javelin meme, who used 100% of his proceeds to support relief efforts in Ukraine, is going to join me tomorrow, and we'll be shooting the breeze. I'm excited because this is a worthy cause, and also it's good to get the word out on what's happening with with Ivan invading Ukraine. I think this is a serious issue that I think the world needs to identify, or needs to stand with Ukraine.
Yes, it is definitely a serious issue. Nobody is denying that, but even out of serious issues, content creators will use their talents, in this case, to raise money for those serious issues, and right. I love that. Love it.
So we're gonna go into discussion. He's got a pretty good history of work, and also that, and then we're of course, just like how we did tonight, just how Cause does his show. He's gonna discuss about what he's done and all that stuff, and then of course discuss Blessed be us. That's why I always say this is the year of St. Javelin. Blessed be to St. Javelin. All righty then. And so this is we're pretty excited. And then what we got CQ coming up. Is CQ? I think CQ's traveling. Isn't he out showing off doing Comic-Con stuff again?
Yeah. He is out there running around.
Yeah, he's like, oh, now you guys went out and did your stuff. Now it's my turn to do your stuff.
See, that's just it. That's what he just planned his spring break later to make it look like we were all shamming.
Right, exactly. When we all know CQ shamming now. So he's going to have on March 29th. Rich Ting, he's going to be joining us. A fourth generation Asian American growing up as an athlete. Ting played collegiate football at Yale University while earning a BA, and then went on to achieve a dual JD MBA. A JD Juris Doctor. It's like he's law school, right? Juris. That's where JD is.
Yeah, that's a law school degree.
That's a law school thingy of excellence. And soon after achieving his scholastic goals, he realized he needed to switch careers and pursue his passion for the entertainment industry, and specifically as an actor.
That's a lot of school to be an actor.
Dude, isn't that right? Could you imagine? But that's like having somebody sharpshoot you on law or something like that when you're doing an act. You know what I mean? Like, you imagine it's like having the judge with you on a movie set, and there's some legal stuff going on, and he'd be like, no, you wouldn't do that. You know what I mean?
Right. And he can run the business side of it too with his MBA.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's got it all down. He actually probably could be a good technical advisor for a lot of legal stuff. Yeah. And then, man, we're already about ready to go into April. We have because we've been gone, and we've also had some. I just let you know, give you an update on Mom, because everyone was asking me about Mom and how she's doing. She's doing okay. She's just getting healed up. And so if you've been sending us messages in in our inbox, or if you're sending us something in the Facebook, be patient. We've kind of, mom just got out of major surgery, and she's working it. She has her own specific way of doing stuff, and I have been helping her as much as I could, try not to mess things up. You know what happens when
when she comes back fully recovered, she's going to beat us all.
Yeah, exactly. She's going to beat us all because we've been loading the dishwasher wrong all this time.
We definitely have put a cast iron in the dishwasher.
Yeah, exactly. Totally misloading it. We let the toilet seat up a couple times. There was some ash, there's cigarette butts on the floor. Yeah, she's going to come at us like big time. So guys, be patient. Always looking for some up-and-coming actors and actresses and songwriters and bands and all that stuff. So go to contact@WTFNationRadio.com and just drop an email. Hey, look, even if you send us a forward, just do it a reminder. If you've been contacting one of our hosts and, our hosts are out and about and you're like, I don't know, unsure a little bit about, I don't know, am I going to get put on? Just hit contact@WTFNationRadio.com. Say, hey, I emailed so-and-so, what's going on? And then, let us know. Again, some emails and stuff. I don't like dipping in the, you know what I mean? Dipping in the, that's like, I don't know. It's like going through, it's almost like when you asked me at one time, hey, give me my purse, please. And I just like, you said, get something out of your purse. I'm just like, here's your fucking purse. I'm not touching it. And it's
you just got to dig straight in, take a left at the wallet, a right at the lip gloss.
No. I grab those things with like nuclear rod tongs, like on The Simpsons, and I'm passing that purse over to you. I ain't touching nothing. Just the way it is. So be patient. Hey, musicians, if you got any good music out there that's good, maybe you want to get signed or something like that. We've helped artists get signed with some major record label companies by playing your music on so like when we have breaks and stuff, it's not the same old music over and over again. We would love to hear some music. Contact@WTFNationRadio.com. Right now, currently, if you go to our, everyone's like, hey, I can't, I noticed that the WTF Nation was a period of time where the website was down for a little bit. It was getting security updates and loading up. So currently, if you go to WTFNationRadio.com, you'll see it's not really like a blank page. It just says we're redesigning, under construction. But on the bottom, you'll see links for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and the contact thing. The contact envelope, so you can send an email. Just click on that, and your web browsing or your preferred method of email delivery will come up. So right now we're on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and 2 Facebook pages. Currently broadcasting live. Once you get everything set up and everything get all done, then just like, things got to get happen. We can still keep a show going on all the other social media platforms. And our podcast, of course, will be uploaded and downloaded and all that. So don't fret. We're just, we're not like I-35 though. We're actually going to get done. Isn't it?
Ooh.
Yeah. At least
the webpage will not be under construction for 120 years.
Right, exactly. Not since 1993 when I left it. There were some spots that I'm like, is this place still under construction? I'm like, that pothole's still there. But anyways, again, so tomorrow again, Friday Night Freedom is going to be myself and Pookie. So I'll be showing my face again. So if you don't like what you see, then tough, just whatever. We'll have the Pooks going on. Maybe I should do some like background stuff. You know how Kaz disappears in the back of his background or something? I don't know. Maybe I'll leave my background alone or something like that. Or maybe just have a big Friday Night Freedom banner behind me or something like that.
Oh, yes.
Really short notice
Make
stuff.
it very festive.
Yeah, make it very festive. Anyways, appreciate, share, like, and follow. Again, 2 Facebook pages, WTF Nation Radio, U.S. Army WTF Moments. Twitter, WTF Nation Radio, at Twitter, of course. Instagram's the same thing. And then YouTube, WTFNationRadio.com. If you're not a subscriber, then you will see, the first thing you'll see is the memorial video that CQ did with Louis Anderson, which I'm honored that he even decided to show up. Sadly, he was going to do a project with us last year during Christmas time, and now we know why he wasn't able to do that. So, and on Twitch is like a weird platform. Like Chief was saying, people watching you play video games or something like that, or looking at us talking to you and stuff like that. I don't know. Can you do that? I mean, like I said, it's bad enough that I got my kids telling me I suck at, flying spaceships.
Right? Like, I'm not getting on Twitch. Let y'all see how bad I am at Animal Crossing.
Exactly. Or Minecraft or Call of Duty or something like that. But anyways, thank you guys and gals for hanging out. And, if you guys don't have anything for me, you got anything to say, Spanky? You got anything to... What do you got anything to... What about?
No, it's just sweet dream shots.
Sweet dreams and shots. All right, y'all have a good night. Shots.
There's a lot of tough talk on Twitter, but there's not a lot of real talk.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping. That was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone. The halo of a street lamp, I turn my collar to the cold and damp, and my eyes will stand by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs and voices never shared, and no one dared to spend the song of silence. say that you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words, like silent raindrops fell, and echoed in the wells of silence, and the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made. Inside lashed out his warning, and the words that it was forming. In the signs and the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls, in tenement halls, and whispered in the
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Сьогодні ти знову написала, що тобі страшно. І я знову попрошу. Ні, сьогодні я накажу відставити боятись. Погладь за мене бармале і спокійно лягай спати. До речі, як там Руся в школі? Скажи тату берегти серце і обійняти маму. І взагалі, давайте усміхатися. Вашій силі краса. Допомагайте один одному і виручайте. Цілуйте любимих. Святкуйте свою свободу. Ви за нашими спинами. Ось такі теж надійні, не ховаєтеся, прикриваєте нас із тилу. Зробіть так, щоб ми пишалися вами. І ми повернемось. Повернемось і будемо жити.